Hey, thanks for meeting with me, Mr. Madden.
Hey, I'm a big fan of the movie. Rudy, you got the jersey on and everything. Hey, what can I do for you?
I'm here because we all saw Will Ferrell trying out for the Cubs last week, and though it didn't work out, I realized you guys are just looking for some major star power to play ball for you, and I thought, what about Rudy?
Rudy, that was more of a promotional thing. Will was doing that for charity.
Look, I understand that he's a little bit taller than me, but what I lack in size, I make up for in hustle and tenacity and heart.
Rudy, I think there might be a misunderstanding.
Look, before you say no, I've got something to show you. Speed and agility.
Could have just retired, Joe, but no. Could have toured the country in the RV.
And slide. Rudy's safe. Coachy's safe.
Could have just watched the box score.
Baseball.
Starts right now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Coward for box score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the Danettes in Milford, Connecticut. Paulie, how many hours of college basketball did you watch this weekend?
Good question. I mixed in a little bit of college hockey. I'm getting into college hockey lately. A ton on Friday night, a ton on Saturday. There was less on Sunday, so it kind of eased off. I would say 14 hours total.
Solid job there. Well, DP was all college hoops today and went Dr. Danny prediction when talking about Kentucky with Seth Davis.
I'm expecting them to lose in the tournament.
You are.
Yeah, you got to win 6, and just matchups, and I guess it comes down to this, and this is the reason why I begrudgingly say that, because Kentucky's defense rarely takes a night off. Offense is going to be the key. If they have one of those nights where they're not making those shots, then I think it's going to be different. Man, you got to be able to rebound against Kentucky, control the tempo. Easier said than done, but I just think somebody is going to do something, and that's why, we watch. So am I rooting for Kentucky? Yes, because you know what? Great teams deserve to be rewarded, and I'd love to see them rewarded. I just think it's really hard to go 6 straight games here.
Dan kind of was a little all over the map on his Kentucky takes today.
Well, he said he doesn't think they're going to win, but roots for them to win, which is honest.
Yes, but then he kind of, for some reason, in the same sentence, he's like, they are really one of the great teams of all time, and they're going to lose. I feel like that was the message. I mean, right. I understand where he was going with it, but I mean, let's face it, he was being contrarian. We all know it.
Yeah, but
we all know it.
Are you mad they took that move from you early in the week? That's your move.
Going contrarian? Yeah, I was so contrarian last week on all that NFL stuff that I think he kind of was inspired by that.
But I think you're going to top him. I really have an idea. I bet you pick Kentucky to not make the Final Four. And now, now will you not do it because I said you would? Because I think you were going to. Because that's way bigger than not winning the
But
title.
is it contrarian now to pick Kentucky to win it all, since everyone is saying it's too contrarian not to pick them?
I still think it's contrarian to not have them win it all. Or something.
Seton, you look exhausted by this. How many brackets are you going to be filling out this year, and do you let DP's predictions influence you?
Well, maybe. I'm usually a one-sheet guy.
Fritzy's more of a 3-sheet guy.
Yeah, he's more of a 3-sheet.
In more ways than one.
To the win.
I used to always do 3 sheets. I'm just going to do one this time.
But then part of me is like, well, you should pick West Virginia to win it all in one. Yeah. And then have another one that's a little bit more
realistic,
sane. But then that's kind of like cheating, right? It's like, what's the point?
Oh, when you say, well, I got it right on my 5th sheet. My 2nd sheet, I didn't do so great, but sheet number 9, I was all over.
Little known Dan Patrick Show secret: do not copy Dan's bracket. Dan is, as he said today, is average to above average of the brackets
at best.
This man right here is who you copy.
Rock chalk. That's
Todd is one more than
because
anybody in the room.
That's because I don't take too many of the crazy risks. But I'm trying to open it up a little more this year. But ultimately,
has any of the 4 of us ever won our own bracket contest?
Yes, Todd has won 2.
Oh, did I tie?
No, you won with Michigan. Remember?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It came down to like the very end, though.
Yeah, you beat Jerry Ferrara
was neck and neck with
a couple years ago. Todd is always in the top 3. And
but you can't
I think Charlie Sheen did it, and it was like he picked like St. Mary's Catholic School
Akron.
or something. Like, it's like somebody that's not even like
Zips, exclamation point, exclamation point.
Robert Morris to the Final Four.
I still have that bracket Charlie Sheen filled out.
Well, Buffalo coach Bobby Hurley hopes to bust up a couple brackets this tournament and talked about learning his style from the old bench boss, Coach K.
I spoke with Coach on Sunday morning on our way back from Cleveland after we won the conference tournament, and just he was excited for me and just trying to get any type of advice, going into this. I have it from a different perspective as a player, how to prepare, for an NCAA tournament, and I'm just going to try and really keep it really consistent to what we've been doing and stay in our routine. Coach always talked to us about trying to win 2 games and not look at it like a 6-game tournament and try and take it week by week, thinking about winning 2 games. And that's what our mindset will try and be, going into this West Virginia game.
I think it's great that Bobby Hurley, which doesn't shock me, still has a great relationship with Coach and can reach out to him, and he knows, that he's still very new at this, and whatever shortcomings he may have as a coach, that Coach K can help him, through the tournament in the best way to look at it. It's one thing, as Hurley mentioned, to have a certain mindset as a player and learn from a coach, but now that he's on that side and he's the coach trying to teach his Buffalo Bulls how to deal with the pressure of the tournament and try to last a few rounds, it's great that at any moment he knows he can call Coach K and get some strong advice from him.
Good guy to have on the line. Bobby Hurley was a major focal point of the Christian Laettner documentary and talked about whether he'd like to play or coach his former teammate.
Teammate for sure. I mean, just had great memories. What he delivered. In terms of winning. The clutch shot making, all the things that he provided for us. It wasn't always easy being a point guard with him because he was so competitive and he wanted the ball all the time. And if I wasn't playing well, then he was right in my face about it. So I'm tough enough to handle it though, so it didn't really affect me.
That's funny. That was my favorite part of the documentary when Hurley threw a ball at his face and ran out. Did you guys see when Laettner was inbound the ball and wouldn't throw it to him? And then Hurley would have to run back and get him?
Yes, that was the snarkiest thing. I've seen some snarky stuff in my day. Hurley said that Laettner just dropped the ball inbounds and made Hurley step just
and then they
back.
And they had it on tape like 5 times.
Yes,
it was such a great move.
It was so weird.
But Hurley today was clearly measuring his words. Like, I don't feel like we got a real answer on that one from him. Great documentary. Yeah.
Hey, Paulie, it's well documented that you are the meanest Danette. Do you consider yourself the Christian Laettner of the show?
Oh, boy, I don't know. I think I have a tinge of that in me. He's more, though, he's the star. I'm not the star of the team. He is the unbridled star of his team at Duke. I'm more of one of the guys who works on the show, so it doesn't really match up. But sometimes I think being terse and direct is better than being kind of soft and meandering when you're telling people what you need or what you want to do. So when McLovin actually mentioned that to me yesterday, we were tweeting back and forth, and he said something about like Paulie's a little bit like Laettner, or someone on Twitter did, and I took it as a compliment because I respect Laettner's style in the fact that he's not like a guy averaging 12 and 4 a game with that kind of attitude. He's by far the star of the show. So I took it as a compliment.
By the way, when Paulie said, so maybe somebody tweeted me. Somebody tweeted, said, you're the Christian Laettner of the show. He retweeted it, favorited it, emailed specifically to me saying, hey, did you see this quote where the guy called me later? Way to downplay it.
Yeah.
And he said, this is the greatest tweet that's ever been sent to me, by the way.
Well, I mean, because obviously, Laettner
yeah, somebody tweeted me maybe.
An all-time legend in the sport.
You had it tattooed on your left arm.
Yes.
I am Christian Laettner.
You're going to see Seton's guys to get a tattoo. Yeah. But yeah, I took it as a complete compliment.
And it was. All right, coming up, it's draft season in the Man Cave. Who's the box score taking number 1? Hey, we're taking the Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. Every truck can climb a hill, every truck can tow a boat, every truck can haul a trailer, but not everybody has the most fuel-efficient half-ton truck on the road. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram. Welcome back to the Box Score. As Perloff informed us today that Jameis Winston will not be in attendance for the NFL draft, so he can watch it with his family. But Andy, you think there's more to the story? I mean, who needs to buy a dog here, Jameis or the NFL?
Wow. When I actually sent out that story, I thought the only angle was that Jameis was afraid he might slip and didn't want to be on TV in the green room as the camera on him. And then Dan immediately is like, well, I wonder, he just met with Goodell recently. Did the NFL encourage him not to be there because they're worried about the visual of a guy who was accused of rape being the #1 pick, then a lot of people would say, oh, look, the NFL business as usual.
Well, you're not
So
surprised.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm
So
just
if he's the
surprised.
#1 pick sitting at home or is the #1 pick sitting there's a big difference.
There's a big image with the guy
he's
getting his
standing there.
jersey with Goodell and hugging
Yeah.
him. That's an iconic
But
image.
doesn't
off
Winston
it.
want that special moment? Like, you know, even if he's encouraged by the NFL not to, like that's a once in a lifetime
His
moment.
lawyer said he didn't want to be there.
I'm
Wanted to
surprised
be
that
home.
you wouldn't want that.
His lawyer's explanation was he wants to spend it with his family and friends. Have you ever not seen a first-round draft pick with 20 family or friends on the stage
Yeah, that was a
celebrating?
weak excuse.
I'm really surprised because the NFL will pay for most of them to come up there and put him up for the week. So that excuse doesn't hold water. If it's found out that the NFL discouraged him from coming, I think that's complete BS. It's like, hey, we only want you when you're doing good for us, which means on the field, throwing passes. But as soon as you are anywhere negative for an image thing we're doing, like they got rid of Adrian Peterson this year for I don't know what. I'm not sure what he did besides bad PR. He was not convicted of a crime. This guy has never been charged with a crime, really.
And you could argue that it calls even more attention to it by him not being there, and now we're all talking about it for the next several weeks. Why is he not going? What's the real reason he's not going? That makes it worse.
I completely agree with Fritzy. It's like they're already making a story of Jameis Winston off the field when it did not maybe just you expect the top guys to be there.
Assuming that it's the NFL that made the call.
Yes, assuming the possibility of it. If it's just Jameis doing it, then that's odd for him to not embrace this great moment in his life.
But the other thing for him, it's not as big a deal. Somebody who's already the Heisman winner, he already won a national title. He's already been the #1 most talked about football player in the country for 2 years. I don't think to him the draft #1 overall pick. I don't know. For me, maybe I'm putting him I feel like there's not as much glory around this. Like I for some reason it doesn't feel like a celebration. Often it does. With him, it feels like yes, the Bucs are picking him because he's the best player, but nobody really is really happy about that.
That's a weird.
Even him, if you hear his quotes, he's very much kind of lowered the expectations.
It's awkward no matter who chose
lowered the
him.
buzz.
No matter who chose him not being there, it's very awkward, that decision.
Hey, Paulie, which prospect's first-round plummet was the most painful you've ever watched?
Oh man, I was gonna go with Brady Quinn, the quarterback. It hurt him a lot.
Good one.
But I'm gonna go off the board. I'm gonna go off the board a little bit and go NBA since we're talking NBA. I remember Rashard Lewis was out of high school, I think. I went to the draft and he went in the second round. Ended up having a real nice career, but Rashard Lewis at the NBA draft sat there. It seemed like for a month.
Did he cry? Am I imagining that Rashard Lewis dropped a tear or two?
He looked bad. Ala Abdelnaby as well, former Duke forward, had to sit to the second round.
Fritz, you don't do well with stress. I mean, sudden stomach problems, maybe a bad case of the Mopies. If you were a top prospect, would you take your chances and go to the draft?
I think I would. It's certainly, I can understand the cameras are on you and everybody's whispering and looking at you as more you're falling lower and lower in the draft, and it's embarrassing and all that. But, eventually when they get you, hopefully sooner than later, I still think it's a special moment. You worked your whole life to get to that point, and whether it's middle first round, late first round, third round, whatever it is, I know you're losing money and everyone's staring at you and you're trying not to look sweaty and all uptight about falling so far and being totally humiliated like Brady Quinn and others were. But eventually they'll call your name, you'll get your jersey, you'll be up there, and I think
You'd have to do a lot of listen face if you fell in the draft.
there would be a lot of listen face, and there'd probably be some pouting and a lot of shaking your head and like what's going on. But I would go because I think it looks bad not to show up what Geno Smith did and leaving and having to come back from his hotel across the street. That just seemed really odd to me.
Well, Seton, I'll throw a draft question your way. You're the new GM of the band Queen, and you hold the #1 overall pick for lead singer draft, and you can draft any singer in history other than Freddie Mercury. Who is it?
It'd be the lead singer of Queen.
Queen, yes.
I would say, the first name that pops in my mind is David Bowie, who doesn't have the same vocal range as Freddie Mercury, but he's the only person that Queen ever collaborated with, and that was pretty awesome. So that's not a bad place to start. Plus, he's a legend. Like you need somebody, a front man that carries a certain amount of respect.
You're right.
That some random dude couldn't do. Like Jimmy, hey, here's Jimmy Lipper. He's gonna be the lead singer. I'd be like, get the hell out of here. You're not Freddie Mercury, but David Bowie, it's like, whoa, all right, that's pretty sick.
You're right about one thing. Whoever does it would have to have a real high pitch, be able to go to a real high pitch, because Freddie could hit that high note.
Yeah, well, you can cover that up, I think. Right. But there's not a lot of people that have the same rock star.
You ever seen Journey without Steve Perry? They played at a Super Bowl party recently.
Ooh, is that bad?
Not good. You got it.
Okay, don't go away, guys. Sharpen your headlines. There is a battle on the horizon. Welcome back to the Box Score, guys. It was a huge weekend in sports, and chances are a bunch of Box Score fans missed a majority of the news because they were going through the old Box Score vault and rewatching some of their favorite episodes. I can't blame them. Let's fill them in this edition of
Mock Headline Battle Royale.
I give you a headline, you give me a mock headline. First headline, Christian Laettner apologized to Amani Toomer. Oh no, Aminu Timberlake for stomping on his chest 23 years ago. Let's start with McLovin.
Hey, Timberlake, I didn't mean to hit you.
Okay.
Paulie, what do you have?
Ooh, I'm gonna go a little Laettner. Not a very Christian thing to do.
Fritzy, what do you got?
I am very similar to Paul. I went better Laettner than never. Now that's a good Christian. Very close.
And Seton, your mock headline.
Apparently, I have a collaboration of all of them because I have a good Christian, man. Aminu, no harm, guy. Sorry about that. A good Christian, man.
There we go. Second headline, Blue Jays outfielder Kevin Pillar sidelined after straining his oblique while sneezing. Paulie, what do you have?
He doesn't tighten up those abs. Jays outfielder strains oblique with sneeze.
Because it tighten up those abs.
Fritzy.
Oblique outlook. Hurler won't last long if gets injured that way.
Yeah.
Crowd loved that. Seton, your headline, please.
This is from the Todd Fritz collection. Ouch, chew. Blue Jays say injury, nothing to sneeze at. Todd Fritz. Yeah, it's kind of lame.
Fingers. And finally, McLovin.
I have God bless you.
All right, I'm with it. I'm with it, Anderson.
Yeah, nothing else. It's polite. Our third headline, Georgia State coach Ron Hunter tears his Achilles celebrating team Sun Belt Championship. Fritzy, to you.
I have limping into the dance. Somebody call 911 WON. Emergency. 911.
Seton, you're next.
Oh boy. Achilles heel? Hunter apologizes for celebration, says he misspoke. Misspoke. Achilles, Greek mythology. Myth. He didn't actually say anything, but
Yeah. McLovin, what do you got?
I like it anyway.
That's a bit of an inside joke here, but as Stan Verrett might say, his Achilles heels was, well, his Achilles heel.
That's tough. That's tough.
The heat and the heat.
Talk about heat and the heat.
He'll be okay. GSU coach makes a turn, he tears Achilles. He'll
be okay.
Finally, our last headline. Dick Vitale kisses Ashley Judd on the lips before Kentucky's win over Arkansas. Seton. No.
Pukey V. That's disgusting, baby!
Fritzy.
Diaper eye candy. She's Ashley, baby, with a capital A.
Oh, Paulie.
Dick move. Vitale goes full court press on Ashley Judd. Dick move.
Richard move.
Bravo. Bravo.
Move.
And finally, McLovin.
Dickie V with the kiss. Gross.
Onions.
The mock headline championship belt goes to Paulie. Congratulations, Professor Pat.
Onions in there.
I knew that just didn't sound right.
Stick around. How badly do the guys want to go to the tournament? We'll find out. This is the Box Score, and we're taking a break. To remind you that the Ram Heavy Duty, with its best-in-class towing, torque, and horsepower, it doesn't need one. Keeps on going and going and going and going. Guts, glory, Ram. We're closing up shop here at the Box Score Bar. It's going to be a familiar sight for me this week. Well, practically every week. What I'm trying to say is I'll probably be watching the tournament at a bar. That's what I'm trying to get out. Hey, McLovin, what's your favorite sports week in all the year?
Draft. I like it even more than the Super Bowl. I love the draft. I'm glued to the TV. I like seeing all the mocks the week before. And the thing is, there's no consequences. All 32 teams are alive, and it's a lot of fun.
Hey, Paulie, think back. Have you been to more tournament games or Rush concerts?
Wow, that's a good question. I think I've been to 6 Rush concerts in my life. NCAA tournament games, including regionals, not Final Fours. I think I've been to 3 Final Fours. I would say about 6 NCAA tournament game sites, regionals, that kind of stuff.
Wow. Would you rather watch the West Virginia game from the floor or watch the X Games vert finals from the top of the half pipe?
Oh, snap. I'd rather be at the X Games, definitely.
Me too.
You go to West Virginia, you go to a bar, you go to a house party, you go do whatever, and that'll be awesome. But X Games in person, that'd be rad.
Fritzy, would you rather have floor seats to the national championship game with your son or backstage pass to the Victoria's Secret fashion show for just you?
What are you doing to me?
Here comes a lie.
I should say that being with my son at the NCAA title game, because I know he would love that. But I'm going to be selfish here and hang out backstage with Adriana Lima and Alessandria Ambrosio and
hang out with yourself.
Later.
Trying to give Dick Vitale inappropriate kisses to women that don't want them.
Oh, good. Well, maybe we can have a mock headline about that next Monday. Fritzy, who is on tomorrow?
Warriors point guard Steph Curry will join us as he tries to lead Golden State deep into the playoffs. And we'll also be joined by Craig Sager. He'll probably be wearing a wild blazer, even though we won't necessarily be able to see that. Coming back from leukemia, so we're looking forward to talking some hoops with Craig Sager of Turner Sports.
Well fought by Craig Sager. All right, thanks for watching the Box Score. We're back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern right here on Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. The podcast is also available on iTunes or at podcast1.com.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the Box Score. Holy cow!